All right. Good morning. How's everybody doing? I'm gonna give everybody a couple minutes to hop on here. I got my phone in my hand because I'm actually holding it too. I gotta get this whole studio thing together, set up. And I haven't managed to do that yet. But it's all good. It is G, your spiritual plug. I hope you are following me on all the stuff you're supposed to be following me on. Instagram, spiritual plug underscore. Or maybe it's underscore spiritual plug, not sure. Facebook, Gianni Olamide, your spiritual plug. That page is officially live now. Make sure you're checking that out. I'm also looking at this camera a little bit more than I'm looking at this one, just because I'm trying to keep up with these comments. And eventually, I hope when you hop on here, you'll say hello, hey, how you doing? Something. Let me know that you are with me. Because I'm not gonna talk long today. I realize I don't go live enough. When I do, I'm not populating. Something is happening. But either way, I realize I got to do it a little bit more, and I got to be more consistent with it. And so, in my hey Miss Edna, in my acknowledging my need to be consistent, I just want to talk about some things that have been real in my experience lately, and I have been convicted about listening, and how important listening is, and how it's really not something that we do. It's not something that we actively engage in ways that have the ability to be transformative for us. A lot of times we listen to respond. A lot of times we listen just to get the specific information that we're looking for, that we need in that moment, and then we own and go on about it, not necessarily being conscientious to the other things that have been presented. But for me, it has been pervasive around inner listening and being able to hear what my spirit is directing me towards in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one thing to have conversations about listening to other people, but I also resolved that the way we listen to other people is a reflection of how well we listen to ourselves, how well we are able to be present. And when we are not in a place, when you hop on here, make sure you say, hey, hello, something. I would like to be able to acknowledge you, know who all in the audience, and talk to you. I like the dialogue, if we could do that. But a lot of times we get to immediately thinking about listening to other people, when our ability to be able to listen within is a direct reflection of the way we listen to other people. You know, stillness and being still is one of those things that I'm recognizing is very important for me. It's one of those things that I cannot neglect, because when I start moving too fast and I start doing too much, is what I like to call it, start doing too much, then it impedes on my ability to hear, And even when we are busy and we got a lot of things that we, got to be attentive to and have to give our energy towards, and they are all over the place, there's still a level of mindfulness, I think, that's important for us to be able to maintain in the midst of that, right? Because if we can't maintain that level of mindfulness, then we still gonna find ourselves struggling on that inner direction, and it just keeps coming back to me, the importance of being still, finding space to get what you need in the midst of all the things that you got to do, and being able to listen first to your inner spirit before you can listen to other people. Because if you ain't got that part together, then listening to other people will throw you off. Okay. Largely because other people got a lot of shit they gonna tell you, based on their opinion, what they think you should do, what they think is best, what they think based on their experience, and what they've been exposed to, what they understand and have been privileged to have knowledge of. But it's a lot of stuff that we do in our lives, y'all, that other people really don't understand. And maybe it ain't for them to understand. A lot of times we start asking and consulting because we don't trust ourselves. And it's okay to acknowledge when we don't know something, or when we short on understanding, or when we need to supplement what we know with somebody else's knowledge base, because it will help strengthen us. It's also another matter to go looking for external validation, because we have not found it within ourselves. And all of that's a product of listening, because the more we can find clarity in our listening, in what we're doing, in how we are approaching life from our own internal guidance system, then we show up different to the table. Some folks say it looked like arrogance, but for real, when people are confident in their spirit, when they know what they talking about and they know what they're doing and they clear about their intentions, you come to the table very differently, you know, and that's how I always want to come to the table, with the inner knowing and clarity of what the spirit has guided and told me to do, and this is the season for that. And strangely, when you are actually listening, it will a lot of times lead you into doing things and putting your attention in places that you might not normally do. You know what I'm saying? I say often, a lot of the things that I would choose to do for myself are the things that I'm already comfortable with. They're not necessarily the things that would stretch me, but your spirit will have you do things that will stretch you, knowing that growth is on the other side of your comfort zone. You know what I'm saying? If you're comfortable and you're doing stuff that you used to doing, you're not expanding. That shit don't feel good. In the process of expansion, there is a shifting that's got to happen of the way you exist. You know what I'm saying? There's an enlarging that's got to happen of your capacity. And when you are having your capacity enlarged, I mean, stuff got to move around. It got to be a little different. And it ain't got to be different around you. It got to be different in and a part of you, because that's where the expansion is happening, in you, you know? And so the ability to be able to know how to move appropriately, that shit is not something that just comes, you know? We see a lot of examples out here in the world, and a lot of the examples that we see are wrong. I'm talking to you right now, but it's up to you to listen to your spirit to discern whether or not there's any truth in what I'm saying or not. To know whether or not you are being misled in any shape or fashion. That's the due diligence that all of us are required to provide to ourselves, that we owe to ourselves, to make sure that we're taking care of us, that we are putting the best in front of us and allowing that to be a part of the way we look to show up in the world. You know, I I think it's really important for us to be mindful of that, and to be mindful of when we're being called to not show up, or to show up differently from something that we choose to do. Like, I give you a prime example. Like, there are a lot of things that I've been doing here lately that um involve community. You know what I'm saying? And it's been like day after day after day after day after day. And it's my spirit has been like, hey man, you're gonna have to sit down soon. And even though I may have made obligations or said that this is what I'm going to do, I believe in honoring obligations. I believe in honoring commitments. I also believe in honoring the listening that happens in the spirit when the spirit say, "Hey, don't go do that." Some people call it gut feeling. Some people, some people call it that inner. You know what I'm saying? Following your hunches. But all of that again go back to the power of listening, because we got to be able to discern what's happening not only in the material world and what's around us, but also what's happening in us, because the spiritual currency that's around us is just as strong as the material. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the part that I be hoping that people are understanding. And it's cool that we got such a larger number of people, a growing number of people who are now tapping into astrology and numerology, and understanding our connection to the universe and our connection to nature, and how there are mirrors all around us that we are in and that we are seeing, and that everything that is in our external experience is a reflection of something that's already happening inside. You know what I'm saying? It's so above, it's so below. And when we recognize that these are the ways that the world works, you know what I'm saying? They're laws of the universe. And I wish we talked more earnestly about them, because folk then got stuck on the law of attraction. Like, that's it. It's like 100 and something of them, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And the laws don't change. And you can test them, you can try them, but what you'll recognize is that they help you understand the flow of our ecological politics, of the way things work around us, of how we need to behave and govern ourselves in order to always be in alignment with moving with where the universe wants us. I don't even want to say wants us to go, but where we want to go. You know what I'm saying? We get the desires of our heart. So the question is, what do we want? are the things that we want, inclining us towards, goodwill and, all the things that we know have the potential to better us as a whole? Or are they selfishly inclined that lead us further into ourselves in ways that don't serve us, you know what I'm saying, as a collective? And these are conversations that we got to start having with ourselves so that when we come to the table with each other, we know what we're doing. A lot of time we got good intentions and we want to do things that are righteous, but because we have not sat down and became one with our spirit to the point that we know what we doing, how we showing up, what our boundaries, deal breakers, the things that we are committed to, not going to deal with, what all these things, because we have not verified those within ourselves. When we show up, it's hard to be able to help other people know how to best move around us and how we best move, because you can't communicate that if you ain't figured it out. And I listen to people talk a lot of times. A lot of times people talk because they need to vent, but they don't want to vent in ways that are conducive to finding solutions. So my question is usually always, what do you want to do and what do you want? And a lot of times people be like, I don't know what I want. And I don't know what I want to do. I just don't want to do this. I want something different than this. All right, well, that's step one, knowing that where you at ain't where you want to be. Okay. You figure that out, then you know that you got to go somewhere else. And the question is, what are you willing to do to get there? And maybe the question ain't what you're willing to do. Maybe it's what are you not willing to do? If we can figure out what those things are, make a list of those things and stay away from those, and we can just move around and do everything else that ain't on that list. But part of it is figuring out within ourselves. And I have this conversation with people all the time around the purpose of life. Folks like to ask these real deep philosophical questions, and I love to have a conversation because I think philosophy is the spice of life. It really does help us get an understanding on the metaphysical possibilities that exist beyond what we see. But it requires us to go there and to ask those questions. And I am an advocate that the purpose of us in this dimension, in this life, is to remember, to have a return of remembrance to who we are, the essence of our soul and our soul's purpose and what it came here to be and do and experience and learn, right? Because this whole experience is one of expansion. And so as long as we understand that, and we understand that there are no coincidences, there are only experiences that have aligned with the things that we have put out, because that's where the law of attraction come in. What you put out, you're going to get back. Is that the reciprocal nature of things. It's law of reciprocity too, by the way. But when we start looking at that and we start asking ourselves, do my life look like I want it to look? Do I got the shit that I want to have? Am I attracting the experiences around me that are actually what I want to see? If the answer is ever no, we got to go within ourselves. And it requires us to ask hard questions and to do hard listening. That means that we've got to be willing to be honest. And what I've learned is that honesty is something that that's not something we are a fan of. We are not a fan of honesty in ways that have the potential to transform us. We like honesty so much so as that it reinforces the things that we're already comfortable with or proud of. The hard parts that make us have to look at ourselves and say, I need to kind of tighten that up or do that different or do that better or be more mindful in this ways. Or maybe I need to listen around these specific things. When we start having them conversations, there's a tap out, because I don't need that shit. I want to be good vibes only. You know what I'm saying? I want to go where people are only going to celebrate me. But celebration sometimes also means that there has to be an acknowledgement, one, of what is celebrated, and two, of other things that could be. I'm a believer in using our imagination. It could take us a long way. I also know that you got to be in a position to be able to use your imagination. It is a luxury to be able to sit down and to tap in with yourself. It is a luxury to be able to dream. And the only way you actually get to do those things is if all of your other material reality is already, hey, Aaron, hey, Sade. The only way you get there is when the things that you need have been taken care of. They've been provided for, And so there's a part that even around doing those things, the things that you have to do, the hard questions around what What does my soul desire to do? And how can I find ways that I can actually take care of myself doing those things? How can my gifts make room for me? That shit is still inner listening. You know what I'm saying? Every day I wake up and I say, Lord, where am I supposed to be today? Where am I supposed to be today? These are the things that are on my list that I hope to do, that I need to get done. These are the things that are in my will to do. I don't know what's in your will for me to do, but reveal that unto me right now, because shit, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm listening. It ain't about what, you know what I'm saying? We can do anything we want to do out here. That's real. We should not want to do anything that's harmful to ourselves or to other people, but we really could do anything we want to out here with permission. The question is how. It's not what, it's how. And once we understand that, the game changes. I always want my how to be in alignment with the Great Spirit, though, right? Because there are certain things that I control in my body, in my direct control. And then there's a spiritual realm, y'all. And there are so many things that exist in the spiritual realm that are beyond us. Okay. Y'all remember when that shit came out, when that was like, it's above me now? Woo. I'm still on that. It's a lot of shit that's above me. And I have to be honest about it being above me. You know, and so in order for me to get to a place where I can at least be able to tap in with it, the stillness and the being able to slow down, it does matter. And like I said, this video right here is a product of my own internal conviction this morning, okay? Because I've been moving, and I know I need to sit my ass down. But that's what my spirit told me to do today. You know, you got a million people that you want to support, a million things that you want to do. And I think you should find some way to do that. Because again, it's not what, it's how. But you got to sit down, because I got something to say to you. And I got something I need you to say. You know, again, all of this, the things that we walk into that are the biggest blessings that we find are a product of us being able to hear in the moment. A lot of times, not only being able to hear, but maneuver. You know, maneuvering is a whole nother ball game, because once you can hear what's being said in your spirit in terms of and I call it a internal GPS. You know what I'm saying? You got a personal direction system. And if I'm honest, when I think about the movie Mulan, y'all remember how they showed in the movie her ancestors were sitting up there and they was all arguing and shit about what she should do. A lot of times I feel like it's like that in our heads. Yes, Jada, being emotionally healthy is definitely a requirement. You know what I'm saying? And that requires us. I feel like all this stuff is so interconnected, because if a person can't be still, they can't get emotionally healthy. And and listening is a part of that, getting there. A lot of times you can recognize where you are in your outer emotional health. I mean, in your emotional health, based on your experiences with outer listening. Your ability to be able to receive and hear what a person is delivering and offering you openly and objectively, and then be able to take that and apply it and find ways to be able to move that in your life. That's a whole nother ball game. But our ability to maneuver these things, because just because you can hear and you know what you're supposed to do don't necessarily mean that you know how to go about it. You know, and a lot of times we get stuck there. That's it, Sade. If a person can't be still, they can't be emotionally healthy. All of these things, man. And I feel like this is such on time, because outside is just not opening back up and everybody ready to be out there. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that outside is a bad place. I think people should be outside. I think we've got to be discerning. Hey, Atlantis. I think we've got to be discerning again where we putting our time and our energy. What spaces and places that we are accessing and giving access to. You know what I'm saying? Because our energy is so important. A lot of people do not understand that we control so much in our lives. And I ain't gonna say that they don't believe it. I'm gonna say that to accept that means that you also accept responsibility for creating the things that you want as well as the things that you don't want. You know, and when you begin to accept responsibility for the things that you don't want in your life, then you become an intentional creator. Okay. And I say all the time that we're co-creators with the universe, whether we want to be or not. We don't get to choose. We gonna be it. The question is whether we gonna do it intentionally or whether we just gonna act oblivious. We're gonna act like, you know what I'm saying, we don't have no power or control. And people outsource their power all the time. We outsource the control that we have to create something different all the time because we don't want to be responsible, because responsibility is work. And why do I want to do work? Bitch, I want a vacation. Miami, me, please. Motherfucking Vegas, me, please. Get me the fuck out of here. I got too much work to do as it is. This is the attitude. And I get it because we're overwhelmed on every hand. Motherfuckers got too much to do. Everybody holding too much. But that's because we live as individuals. Now, this is my own personal resolution because there's a lot of people be out here like, I don't need nobody. I don't need nothing. I can do it by myself. Yada, yada, yada. I get that. I'm just saying that we make it harder on ourselves when we live like that. But it's hard for us to live with each other and be able to listen and navigate and maneuver all our different personalities and different things that we bring to the table and listen to each other and be able to hear in the spirit somebody else when we're not doing it for ourselves. And so that's all I am offering, is that this is a time right now where the power of listening is heightened to a whole nother degree. I don't know out here who've been trying to manifest shit, or who've been working on shit, or who've been asking for anything, or who've been writing in their journal, or who've been dreaming, or whatever the fuck you've been doing. But what I'm saying is, if you've been doing that in the last 6 months, you know it's been happening a lot faster. There's something happening in the spiritual realm. And how it happens and continues to amplify itself is predicated on how we engage with it. So if we don't take responsibility to engage differently, more intentionally, you know what I'm saying, with the desire to help a new thing come to pass, man, we're gonna be working against ourselves. I sit with people all the time who do work, and not only do they do work, but they don't believe in what the fuck they doing. They just doing it because they whatever beliefs they have makes them feel like that's what they're supposed to be doing. You know? And we got to be mindful of our beliefs. We got to be okay taking inventory and taking survey of what's in there, and of addressing and assessing whether we want it to be there or not. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the shit that we carry with us now is shit that we learned as kids. It ain't even stuff that we actually would subscribe to on our own. Matter of fact, some shit we don't even want to believe no more. We want to believe something different and just ain't figured out how to take one off and put something else on. But it's a matter of programming. You feel me? Like, that's why I like the Matrix so much, because it talks about how your mind is like a computer. You know what I'm saying? And what's uploaded is what program end up running. And when you want another program to run, you got to delete the motherfucker that's in there. You can put a new program in there, but if the old program still running, they both could run at the same time. But one is, you know what I'm saying? You can't really have both of them open at the same time. You got to pick which one is going to be the dominant. And so when we look at our programming that was uploaded and transmitted to us as children, we got to ask ourselves whether we want that program still running and what all was a part of that program, because our subconscious don't have the ability to filter out what it receives. It is receiving all the time. You got a giver and you got a receiver. Your conscious is the giver. Your subconscious is the receiver. Always receiving. It don't matter whether it's music, whether it's bird sounds, whether it's a motherfucker arguing in the background. It don't matter what it is. You know? And so when you acknowledge that, then you become a lot more conscientious that I got to filter out. I got to be intentional about what I allow around me. I got to be intentional around what I allow into my space and my energy vortex. I got to be intentional about what kind of music I listen to, about what kind of TV programs is on the TV. I got to be mindful about whether or not motherfuckers is gossiping and offering bad, all that shit. All of this is a matter of intentionality. Whether we care or not is up to us. You know what I'm saying? But because once you learn how your mind works, hopefully you do different around your mind. And that's all I'm saying is, as a people, we got to make these conscious decisions. Hey, I'm always down for the boat. Put me on the boat. Yeah. Yeah. Look, don't be hyping me up talking like this. Look, Lord, I thank you. I thank you in advance. Yeah, inbox me. Please, I'm down. And we need to catch up anyway. But yeah, like just what you said, Aaron, your eyes, your ears, And when we get to a point where we have consumed so much stuff that we actually start spewing shit out our mouths that is not what we desire, then we got to take a minute to shut down all the external programs, which is what silence and solitude is supposed to do for us. Again, all let's go back centering around inner listening. You know what I'm saying? And so when you put yourself in situations where you are not out dealing with outside sources of information. The only thing you got to hear is yourself. Then you can start delineating between the voices I was talking about the Mulan people. You know what I'm saying? Because I do believe the ancestors, they be up there arguing about what's best, who got the right answer on the guidance. And it's not until you learn who offering what, whose voice is saying what to you, can you speak back to them. I know when my grandma talking to me, and I know when my grandma started talking through me. And sometimes it happens before I can actually address it. And then I have to become mindful of myself and say, hey, whoa, I need you to slow down, man. We don't need to be upset right now. We don't need to be upset right now. We're gonna listen. We're gonna see what other stories might be possible before we decide that we're going to respond appropriately, and then we're gonna choose an appropriate response from there. Because I got people in me that like to turn up. My people, my folks like to turn up. That's okay. I have to acknowledge that. I have to ask myself, why do you do this? Well, shit, is where you come from. What you can't get that shit about you. You can't because it's in you. You know what I'm saying? And when you acknowledge that it's in you, you know, then you gotta just figure out how to navigate it differently, how to be able to control yourself, how to be able to know your proclivities, how to feel when your energy is going in the direction you don't want it to go. And this is why you see my shirt that say, not this one, but I have one that says protecting my energy. Because your energy is the inner God within you. It is your higher self, and that has to be protected at all times. That is a spiritual something. And if you don't have good boundaries in place around what you allowing around you, you cannot protect your energy. Other people gonna dictate how it moves, what you do with it. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I say it's so important for us to take responsibility for shit. To acknowledge, you know what? I could have did something different. You know what? I can't control you, but I can control me. And next time, this is what I'm gonna do different. You know what I'm saying? That's taking responsibility. Because the only thing that we are 100% in control of at all times is ourselves. That's it. And if we're not gonna take full control over ourselves in a way that's going to fortify our ability to be able to navigate the world in a better, more intentional and productive fashion, what the fuck are we doing with our lives? And how are we going to teach our kids to do that? Or are we going to teach them that they only got to be responsible for so many parts of themselves and then they can outsource the rest? Because the more of this shit we keep outsourcing, y'all, the more room they going to have to try to keep controlling things that don't need to be in their control. Our destiny belongs to us, but it does not belong to us if we do not grab it by the horns. Because the people who feel like they could do a better job, they're going to do that. And then all we're going to do is we're going to have to accept what's left over. And that's up to us if we're going, you know what I'm saying? If we're going to be stuck with that by default, we get stuck with it by default by not doing our part. You feel me? And so we got to get to a place where we're not ashamed to do our part. We're not ashamed to say, hey, man, I don't know how to do this shit, but I see this group of people over here know how. Maybe we can work together. I can learn from them. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we can create reciprocal relationships. This some shit right here that I learned as a child, and it was fucked up. Real fucked up. And I don't want no parts of that shit no more. So I got to have good boundaries around my family when I go around because they not at this place yet. We got to be okay saying, hey, I want something different for my kids. So when this shit right here start happening, we got to get up and roll. Not because we don't love and respect y'all, not because we don't want to be here with you, but because this is a part of protecting my energy. This is a part of making sure that I am facilitating the things that I desire to see created in my life and nothing else. You know what I'm saying? And that's when you got to ask yourself, what am I committed to? Every day of my life, every day that I wake up, what am I committed to trying to see produced in and around me? And when you know what you committed to every day of your life, then it ain't no question about what the fuck you should be waking up doing. There ain't no question. This is what I'm doing. today. And exactly, Aaron, this is what the fuck we not gonna do. Okay. So I'm gonna let y'all do that shit over there. Y'all got it. Y'all good. Enjoy yourself, baby. Call me when you're done. You know what I'm saying? Call me when you're done. It's all good. Ain't no love lost. It's all love. And we gotta be able to give folks space to do what they need to do. Because if somebody is listening to they inner self, they spirit telling them, giving them direction, and then you come out because you got a personal hang up or a personal opinion or some shit that don't gel with that, and you now are interfering with what they need to be doing, you got to give account for that. All of us gonna get our karma back. That's what the fuck I want to say. Don't nobody cheat that bitch. She is so sincere. I love her. I love her. She's so diligent, persistent. Okay? She ain't gonna miss nobody. Even if she take a little while. That's what I like about it. She gonna always come back around. And the only way she don't come is if you learn your lesson. Don't nobody cheat on you. You have to learn your lesson. That's the only way that you can mitigate that force in your life. And so many of us, we got to learn the hard way. And we got to learn the hard way because we don't be listening. You know what I'm saying? My mama used to say that shit when I was young. Hard head make a soft ass. I understand now. Okay, I get it. It didn't click for me because boy, when I'm not listening to my spirit, I swear shit go wrong in my life. It's the craziest thing ever. And the more it start going wrong, it'd be like, oh, wrong path, wrong path, wrong path, wrong path. And you got to make the decision like, hey, I'm the one that's doing something that I got to do different. I can't blame this on nobody but me. That's why I love spending time by myself. You feel me? Because when you by yourself, everything becomes introspection and reflection. You can't blame that shit on somebody else. You are the common denominator in your life. In all things in your life, and all the people in your life, and all the experiences in your life, and all the learning and the teaching, and you in the middle. And so the listening, and this is what I be saying about communion, y'all, and about Christian interpretation, and how I feel like, they fucked us up a little bit because they gave us all the keys, but they didn't motherfucking put that bitch in the lock in a way that we could turn it. You know what I'm saying? The communion table is about bringing us back into relationship with ourselves. Do this in remembrance of me. Y'all, it is only one me. It's only one me. I got to remember who I am in my soul's essence, in my spiritual purpose of why I came here to this time space reality. Y'all, we make the choice to come back to this realm. Earth is a choice. I believe that we are reincarnates. I've been here before. I don't know about y'all. I've been here a lot of times. I've been fucking up a lot, but I'm learning. Now I'm at a place where I can say, you know what? Shit I did in my last life, I promise you I ain't gonna never do again. And some things in this life I didn't learn, I ain't gonna never do again. Okay? But as I learn these things and I'm able to look at them with an objective eye and actually see how I'm spiritually balanced or not balanced in my responses, then I become the one that's changed by the experience. I become changed by the experience because I see it with a different set of eyes. But you got to be still enough to listen in order to get there. And so I just want to let y'all know that. I also want to let y'all know that I have finally gotten the website together for the Alternative Tribe. And I am typing it in the box because I am really proud that this is done. And that it looks the way it looks. Not to mention that we've been working on getting this building together, getting our space together. Check that website out, y'all. Check that website out. I'm getting a physical space together, and I'm figuring out how we're gonna really make an impact on the community, because these kids is what hang in the balance. In 10 years, our 8-year-olds will be 18. In 10 years, our 8-year-olds will be 18. What the fuck are we planning for them? Do we even got some 10 years down the line in the pipeline that we working on right now? You know what I'm saying? Do we have anything that we working on right now that in 10 years is going to benefit our kids? Drop the links in the comments. Drop all the answers that you got in the comments because I'm looking for where they are. You know what I'm saying? And this is where I go back to us outsourcing. Who responsible for the shit that happened to us and the reality that we have? Because we didn't outsource that shit. Because we got to go to work. We got to get to the bag. Capitalism has controlled a large part of our lives. And because we don't believe in collectivity and in being in community with one another, because everybody need to be able to say they did it by themselves and they got it out the mud and they did that, this, all that. This concept of togetherness where we do things together that we could not do by ourselves has not been functional. Okay. It has to very small varying degrees, usually again around capitalistic gain and interest. Now, when we move beyond mere capital, okay, because we know the revolution ain't free, and we know in order to be able to do this work, that it actually costs. It costs money to be able to provide resources to these kids, to be able to offer programs, to be able to bring folk in and give them training, all this shit. We understand this. But the thing that we gather and we center around cannot be the money by itself. And that's the only thing I need us to gather, to center around. You know what I'm saying? That can't be it. It can't be it. You know, for me, our blackness is enough. Us walking out the house and being disenfranchised and having so many things work against us because of the skin that we in is enough for me. But I also realize that ain't enough for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And just because we look alike don't necessarily mean that we have shared values or that we can work together with mutual politics. But what it does mean is that we should be able to embark upon a conversation, understanding that we have a shared experience in our trauma and our reality in this place in America, because we live in America. That should allow us to be able to come together and work for us to be liberated to live however, to live and have and do however and whatever the fuck we please amongst and together. Liberation, the freedom to choose in all its totality and not have any outside or external forces impede upon those choices. You know what I'm saying? I believe in that. I also believe when you want to live like that, you got to be able to protect whatever you create, but you got to get it done. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's crazy. I'm sitting here talking to y'all right now. Normally I would be with a community of people right now. On Sundays, this is the day. You know what I'm saying? I be with it. But real shit, like this is what I was told I'm supposed to be doing today. Apparently I'm supposed to be talking to y'all. I'm trying to listen better. I also realized that being outside in nature, in the country, with your shoes and your socks off and your feet in the grass help you listen too. You know what I'm saying? There's something out there in the elements that do something different for our spirit, y'all. I'm encouraging everybody to make sure you get your sun in. Make shit. I go dance in the rain sometimes. Do what you got to do though. Spend some time outside though, because it's a different kind of hearing. It's a different kind of connection to the earth and to what it has to provide and say to us when we are able to do that. And so I love y'all. It's Sunday. What everybody doing today? What everybody doing today? I'm hoping that y'all spend some time with y'all people. Love on y'all people, man. When I tell y'all, it's been a lot that's been happening around us, and it has required us to be more conscientious. You know what I'm saying? Listening is more than a notion to me. You know what I'm saying? Being conscientious. Everybody out chilling. You know what I'm saying? I see y'all Dallas, Jamaica. Man, love on y'all people. Love on y'all people while y'all out there. Meet y'all some new people while y'all out there. I love being able to travel for real. And it's crazy because I ain't really been nowhere that I want to go yet. And outside is open, but I don't know how open outside is yet with this whole Delta variant shit. You know, I'm figuring it out. I'm also trying to make sure I be still. I'm working on a lot of stuff too. So balance, got to stay balanced, y'all. I'm glad to see y'all being productive though. Y'all getting what y'all need out here. Love on y'all people, man. We had the March for Black Women and Girls yesterday in Little Rock, and it was amazing. But I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge that we called out the names of 92 women who are no longer with us. You know what I'm saying? Most of them lost to violence. And it ain't just our women that we've been losing. We've been losing our babies. It's been a lot of folk who've been dying from collateral damage. You know what I'm saying? Like shit that ain't even got nothing to do with them, ain't even meant for them. You know what I'm saying? It's so much. And so what I just want to say is we can't never have enough love in the world. We can't never have enough encouragement, enough empowerment, enough of us getting together and believing in each other. We can never have enough. We can't never have enough people, never have too many people that's trying to heal, that's trying to address their shit. Can't never have too many people that's trying to come together and figure out how to make shit work together. You know what I'm saying? I'm a promoter of all of that. I want y'all to know it ain't always easy working. Folks don't always get along, and you ain't gonna always want to be friendly and cute with a motherfucker. But can we work through whatever the fuck we go through? Can we figure it out? Can we take a break and come back? Is there a way that we can learn how to resolve our conflict that allows us to sustain the work or preserve what it is we want to do long term? Y'all, if y'all could do anything, and this is really what I want to know, because I'm really trying to figure out what are people invested in contributing to long term. You know what I'm saying? And when I say long term, man, take me beyond 5 years. Because again, in 10 years, our 8-year-olds will be 18. And so if we as adults are not coming together to figure out how to how to do something different, how to provide something different, how to model, how to offer, y'all, they ain't gonna have shit. I don't know if y'all know. Maybe this is just in Little Rock. Maybe this is just in Little Rock. But the homicide rate is super high here right now. And there's a lot of violence happening. There's a lot of kids out here in these streets that's engaging in violent behavior. But the question is, what's the alternative for them? They're trying to get some money. They're trying to get some money. And they ain't got nothing else to do. I call them a generation that raised themselves. You feel me? Because while we was out trying to get a bag, they was at the house on the phone playing video games with auntie, with somebody, with whoever. You know what I'm saying? But they were not being intentionally raised. It was being raised by pop culture. And that's one of the conversations that we don't like to talk about either. You know what I'm saying? We like to say a lot of shit is the problem because of a lot of other things that don't got to do with us. But it really do. And it's the product of us not being able to be still enough, boy, to hear. I feel like the Great Spirit has been saying for a long time that the future is film. The women are going to have to get together and make a decision that we are going to be different in the world. And it's going to command that the world move different. And if Black women do that, and I keep saying it ain't gonna be everybody. Okay. We got this idea that everybody can go. And in my mind, in my heart of hearts, I want everybody to go. And maybe one day we'll get a vehicle together that's big enough that can carry everybody. But as of today, we ain't gonna be able to build that vehicle just yet. And if we do, it's coming in phases. So who can go? How do we find the people and bring them together who have the heart and the mind to work together to create something that does not yet exist? You know what I'm saying? And this go back to the concept of the imagination. What are we committed to in a world where we got to make sure that we survive under capitalistic means and measures? I mean, we got to get enough money to where we ain't fucked up about it, where we ain't going to cross each other for it, where we are not going to be disloyal in the name of having more of it, where the value is in each other, you know? And so, again, all this go down to the things I was saying in the beginning about us knowing what are we committed to every day of our lives, that we wake up and we decide, this is the fuck I'm gonna do today. This is what I want to see in my life, no matter what it is. For me, I'm gonna give y'all an example. For me, like love, I am committed to love every day of my life. I might say some shit that you don't like to hear, but it does not mean that I'm not coming in love, or that even if you mad at me, I ain't gonna love you through that. You know what I'm saying? Or let you love me, because sometimes folk piss me off and I need a minute, you know? Just need a minute. Give me a minute. Let me digest that shit. It hurt. You know what I'm saying? That was heavy. Ugh. I didn't like it, but I respect it. You know what I'm saying? Respect, that's real. You know what I'm saying? Because I think respect come a step before love. You know what I'm saying? When we are able to be able to hold space for each other in the midst of our differences, in the midst of whether we agree or not, in the midst of whether we like all this shit or not, and be respectful of one another, and then follow that shit up with a little love behind it. You know what I'm saying? A little sorbet that shit. Yes, I need that. I'm also committed to equity and justice and making sure that not only do I have that in my life and in my relationships and in the way that I engage in the world, but also that I help create ecosystems of those things for my people. Like these are the every day that I wake up, this is shit I'm committed to. I know what the fuck I'm doing. No. Because when I'm not doing those things, I'm thinking about them. I am thinking about them. And if I'm thinking about it, I'm still giving energy towards it, then I need to find a way that I can actually monetize this shit and do it day in and day out. And I've managed to do that. And I encourage people, the things that you committed to, that you love doing, that you will wake up and you will do without getting paid and be completely happy in your own spirit, that's what you need to be figuring out how to get paid around. That's what you're supposed to be doing. That's a part of your gifts that you're supposed to be offering to the world. Because our gifts are not for us. Our gifts are to be given. We are the gift. We are. Shout out to Keisha Bragg. She said that last week. But yeah, I ain't gonna stay on here too long. I just wanted to let y'all know that again, the Alternative Tribe site is live now. Also, my other page, my public figure page is live because I'm probably finna start doing less and less on this personal page. I don't know. I keep running out of friend space, so I ain't got time to keep doing that shit. And I don't want everybody to have access to everything. So made a public page, Gianni Olamide, your spiritual plug. I'm gonna I'm gonna spell my name for you so y'all can go and find it. But make sure you go and you follow that page as well, because I'm going to be doing a lot more on it. Instagram, y'all, I want y'all to know I got some content series that are coming. I got one on energy and chakras and what they actually mean in your life and how you actually shift your energy through them in your own daily personal practice. A lot of people don't even know what the fuck their energy is. Okay, we be using these terms, but y'all know a lot of y'all ain't pay attention in science. I be having that conversation all the time. Physics, folks, they slept on that. Biology, that too. A lot of this shit, y'all, that we learned in high school, I think it wouldn't hurt us to have a refresher class on. But yeah, I'm gonna do a lot of merging the shit together. Definitely, say I got one on how to shift your energy through your chakras and your energy. Also got a podcast that's gonna drop soon too, called Cultural Climate. Be on the lookout for that. And I'm gonna let y'all know where the Alternative Tribe is gonna be housed very soon. In a couple of weeks, we're trying to get all the paperwork finalized on it. But I am excited that there will be a physical learning space that is available in Little Rock that's for the kids and for the grown-ups and for us to be able to come together as we self-determine our realities and futures. Because y'all, we can't keep waiting on motherfuckers to come and do it for us. And we can't keep giving them the power to do it in fucked up ways and then be mad that it's fucked up. Okay. Them days is over. We can do anything that we can conceive of or desire. We just got to put ourselves in the space where we can conceive of it and we can plan it and we can make it become a realization. There's also this other thing where it's a lot of folk who have been welding and holding and hoarding a lot of resources that really, really was supposed to be ours a long time ago. That's a thing too. And I'm speaking about institutions. And in this time period right now where everybody is trying to figure out how to do the right thing and trying to get right with God and whatever else they trying to do. All I'm saying is, y'all, we need to have our shit together. That way we can actually tell them how to do what the fuck they trying to figure out how to do without giving them the power to control the ways in which we do it. Because we didn't do our part. We got to do our part, y'all. And if you don't hear me say nothing else, we got to do our part. And can't nobody else choose that for us but us. Because again, we at the center. If you don't know what your part is, though, you got to sit your ass down and get to listening. You got to listen to what the spirit is telling you on the inside. And then we got to do better when we come together so that we can listen to each other better. So we can hear each other in the spirit. So that we can show up together. So that we can actually begin to create a new thing. So I love y'all. Oh, the other thing I forgot to tell you, I got some music coming soon too. All of this shit is expensive, y'all. I'm only one person. I be paying for all this shit out of my pocket. But I just want to let y'all know it's coming. I'm almost done with my whole project. I got to get the copyrights on them before I put them out there because I know I got some bangers. But yeah, The music is coming soon too, y'all. Make sure you following on all the places you follow. You need to be following on. TheAlternativeTribe.com is live now. Check it out. Also, go buy a T-shirt or a book or something like that. That way, I can keep pushing this stuff out. Because again, boy, it's an expensive gesture to provide art and culture to people out your own pocket. So I love y'all. I hope y'all have a great day. I hope you have a great Sunday. I hope you go do something that again is gonna help fortify your inner listening. Go love on your people. Go love on your people. I'll talk to y'all next time. Oh yeah, my bad. I forgot to turn this one off.